One thing we definitely have in common as business owners is we always have a to-do list on the go. Here's how to make to-do lists more fun and also easier to stick to. To-do lists are meant to support us as people and as especially business owners. We have a lot going on all at once. However, this video is coming out in February, but at multiple times throughout the year, our schedules undeniably get shifted, whether it's from a vacation or it's from a holiday. Even if you're staying at home, it could be the time changes that happen in the spring and fall in a lot of places around the world, or being stuck in the dead of winter like we are now in February. So here are some things that might feel familiar to you, and I'm going to read them. You're groggy at work by mid-afternoon. You're sending daggers of hate from your eyes to the sky on a daily basis when you wake up because it's dark. Struggling to keep your kids on a human sleep schedule, or perhaps you're lagging behind in your tasks, probably due to grogginess and mood, or maybe just a general lack of motivation. You might love your business, but sometimes in the dark mornings of winter, it can feel really hard to get our minds clear and ready for a productive day. So sometimes the to-do list can turn into a burden. Instead of being helpful, it can feel like this never-ending list of things we don't get done. So let's come up with a couple of fun, refreshing ways to look at that to-do list so you stick to it, so it doesn't feel nearly as overwhelming and intimidating, and so that you actually have a productive day no matter what time of year. Before we move on to the 3 great to-do list techniques I'm about to show you, I do want to acknowledge you for the fact that you still show up. Even if you're feeling kind of unproductive, you're still thinking about it, you're aware of the problem, and you're excited about fixing it. And you probably get the essential stuff done, right? You get food into you, you get some sleep, even if it's not as many hours as you'd like. You're still living. And I really want to acknowledge you for that, because taking care of ourselves and showing up to our businesses when we're not feeling super great can be hard. So whether it's just in the middle of winter, so you're feeling unexcited when you look at the dark morning sky, or you are actually going through a really hard time right now, as long as you move day by day, you are already accomplishing everything you need to. So now, let's go on to how to accomplish more and see our businesses as a huge element of our productive days. So let me dive into the first to-do list. I have my handy dandy notebook here to show you a couple examples of these to-do lists. To-do list number 1 is called the Big 3. So the Big 3 is basically narrowing down your to-do list to the absolute essentials. I like to mix a little bit of business and personal, because I usually have at least 1 essential personal thing to do a day and probably 2 business things to do a day that really have to get done. If you don't do anything else, especially if you're going through a rough time, just make sure these 3 things get done and you will know you accomplished what you needed to just keep moving forward. The big to-do list can be for another day. So I'm going to give you an example of what I would consider things that fit on the big 3 to-do list. Do 30 minutes of yoga. Record YouTube videos for February. Email proposal to client. Super simple. These are kind of big things, right? You know, like one of them is probably, in my case, I want to exercise more. I want to move more, basically. So for me personally, this is a big one. This is important. It needs to get done because I often push those kinds of things to the bottom of the list so I can work an hour longer if I need to in a rough time. But this is non-negotiable. I need to take care of myself so I can show up better in my business. So that goes on the list. Record YouTube videos for February. That's going to be a big chunk of my day. But once that's done, it's done for a whole month. That is amazing. That's an accomplishment that I want to say I've gotten done by the end of the day. Finally, emailing a proposal to a client. Of course, like that is your moneymaker, right? And that's how you stay in relationship and build trust. You show up when you promise to. If you promise to get a proposal over today, you get that proposal over today. And really, ultimately, in many ways, this is the most important because this is making sure your business sustains you, right? Making sure you have money opportunities flowing into your business. Definitely belongs on the big 3. The next to-do list comes from Tanya Dalton, who wrote The Joy of Missing Out. It's a really cool book. I haven't read the whole thing, but I have picked up this tip from her and I strongly recommend it. So at the beginning of your day, instead of writing out your typical, probably huge to-do list, just focus again. And so you'll see the key with all 3 lists is you're focusing on 3 things, but these are organized by bucket basically. So this is the priority list. First on the priority list is something to escalate. Second is something to cultivate. And third is something to accommodate. So here are some examples. Something to escalate is to email that proposal. I'm using some of the same examples. So that is the thing that brings in money, that keeps your business going. That is number one. You also, especially if you promised it for today, that has to get done. Escalate, it's at the top of your list. Most important thing. Cultivate is to make sure that you're still growing and nurturing yourself and learning as a business owner, because there's always something new to learn about. So in my example, it could be something like watch the digital marketer webinar. Maybe that's an hour of my day, 45 minutes of my day, and I'm making sure that I am growing my skill set, and hopefully also relationships a lot of the time go into cultivate. That could also be something like follow up with 3 people who were potential clients a month ago and see if they're ready now. Something like that. Probably just relationship building. You might not directly say, hey, you ready now? But it's great to also put in the cultivate category relationship building with potential clients in your network to make sure you're always active in that sense, because that's really what leads to referrals. It leads to opportunities for speaking. Really important. That also definitely belongs in the cultivate category. Finally, accommodate. So accommodate is probably something you're not excited to do, and maybe not feeling super important, but it technically has to get done, right? So accommodate could be, I've given an example of somewhere in my workday, I also have to pick up some prescriptions from the pharmacy. Another thing to accommodate might be that you were told you have to have a last minute phone call with a client. Doesn't fit super well into your day, but it's got to get done because you have a service level agreement. Another example of something to accommodate could be maybe you need to go and renew your driver's license in person. Doesn't feel fun. It's probably going to take you some time, but you got to get it done just to keep your life moving. I had another thought about this as well. Cultivate, I mentioned business relationships, but absolutely could be personal relationships too. Maybe there's a friend you've been meaning to catch up with and you just haven't found the time. I know I've kind of been in the situation in my business too, where I want to catch up with someone, but especially if they're in a different time zone, I don't want to irritate them once I'm done my workday, so I just put it off and put it off. So put that on your list. Make sure you send a text message to a friend. It could really be as simple as that, but that's also really important, so I consider that a priority. The last list we're going to talk about is technically not a to-do list, so I snuck this one in. It's a to-done list. I think I've heard a few different people call it that, but another way to describe it is your weekly wins list. So instead of stuff you have to get done, this is maybe on a Friday at the end of your work week, take a few moments and write out the things that you did get done. Whether or not they were on your original to-do list or not, just reminds you that you're constantly being productive in some way because you're just living your life, right? Living life involves resting. That kind of stuff goes on this list too. Living your life means trying to earn money. That goes on this list. Living your life means chatting with people. That goes on this list. It could be fitting in a grocery trip when you didn't want to. Really acknowledge yourself for all the stuff you did get done, because that's going to encourage you to believe that you can get more and more done next week, right? So some examples, also some similar to what were on the other list. Finish reading the book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. If you don't read a lot, that's especially important to put on your list. Acknowledge yourself for that. Scheduling emails for the launch, right? So probably took a few moments to plug in some emails in MailChimp or something like that. But that is really important for your business growth and your income. That goes on the list. Renewed your health card or your driver's license. That also goes on the list, whether it's personal or professional. I think it's really important to acknowledge everything you did get done and celebrate yourself for that, especially those weeks when you're kind of feeling like, oh, what did I even do from Monday to Friday? Take a moment and try this. You'll find you actually got a lot done. Even when you're on holiday or grieving, it could really support you overall, maintaining that confidence level and your capability and your resilience to write a weekly wins list. Even a daily wins list. Go ahead and write it every day if you feel like. All right, so from one entrepreneur to another, this has been my 3 suggested to do or perhaps to done lists to support you in your business. Achieve more productivity, but also honor yourself for the work that you do every single day, showing up, and the things that are really important in life, whether they're business or personal. Because as a solopreneur in particular, or a small business owner, business and personal are inherently intertwined, and that's what makes it really beautiful a lot of the time. So let's celebrate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that you never miss a video about entrepreneurship, copywriting, or content writing. Remember to hit the little bell button too, because otherwise YouTube may not show you the videos even if you're subscribed. So really, really important to hit that bell. Which of these to-do or to-done list techniques are you going to try this week? Commit to it in the comments below. All right, I will see you next Thursday, same time, same place. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!